Hari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. अनंत कोटि भक्त वृंद की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। थैंक यू माता जी। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to yet another wonderful, glorious session of our beautiful reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, where we are about to finish Canto 4, and we are going to head into 5th Canto very soon in a few days. So, this last few verses, we are going to discuss about the prachetas and how they achieve the perfection of their life. To briefly summarize, that prachetas are the 10 sons of the king Prachinabharhi. And if you remember, Prachinbharhi, he comes from the lineage of Prithu Maharaj. And Prachinbharhi is the one to whom Narad Muni was sharing about the whole allegory of Puranjana. So he is Prachinbharhi. And he asked his children, his 10 sons, to perform austerities because they were about to enter into Grihastha life. And he asked them to first go to forest, perform austerities, and learn how to become the ideal grihastha. And sure enough, they went to the forest, and we heard about how Prachetas met Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva spoke to them Rudra Gita, and for 10,000 years they were praying and meditating as taught by Lord Shiva. And after that, they definitely, after end of their austerities, they met Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu gave them benediction that yes, you will have a wife and everything. And specific benediction that Prachetas ask is, let us always associate with devotees. And Then they had a child named Daksha, and Daksha, he then his pastimes and all will continue. We'll not get into detail of that. But coming to this chapter now, that once Daksha is born and they have lived a family life for thousands of years. Now Prachetas have given up the family life. They're going to forest again, and they meet Narad Muni, and they ask Narad Muni various questions, and Narad Muni describes, the three kinds of birth. And then Narad Muni, being a devotee, sure enough, he comes to right to the devotional service, where we saw in the yesterday's verse how he is glorifying devotional service. And in today's verse, we are going to continue on that theme, and we are going to draw a parallel between the other so-called philosophies and how Bhakti Yoga is superior to them. So, I would like if anybody can please read today's just the translation of 4.31.12, because we are going to read one very important verse today, and we'll read the Sanskrit for that one. For this, let's just read the English translation, please.
Yeah. Mataji, would you like us to share the screen?
Yes, please, that would be helpful.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
By then, shall I read, Mataji?
The translation, please.
Hare Krishna. Dandat pranams, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Translation. Transcendental practices that do not ultimately help one realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead are useless. By they be they mystic yoga practices, the analytical study of matter, severe austerity, the acceptance of sannyasa, or the study of Vedic literature. All these may be very important aspects of spiritual advancement, but unless one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, all these processes are useless. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So in this verse, we are trying to see that there are various spiritual practices. It can be mystic yoga, studying of the matter, that is the Sankhya philosophy. It can be performance of austerity, accepting sannyas, and studying of the Vedas. All these are the various spiritual practices. Now, broadly, any person who is trying to understand something about the matter are called spiritual persons, right? They are trying to understand not just the matter, they are trying to understand the spirit. And there can be various categories, but based on Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's purports, and in general, the whole understanding of the whole world, there are three transcendentalists. One is the Bhakti yogis that we all know about. Then we have the Brahmavadis, who Brahmavadis. Then we have Mayavadis, and the fourth one we'll also talk of the fourth one, which is not sort of relevant today, but we'll still talk about them. Are the Shunyavadis. So there are four kinds: Bhakti yogis, or the one who follow path of bhakti. Then we have Mayavadis, Shunyavadis, and Brahmavadis. Let's understand what these different categories are. Let's first discuss Shunyavadi and get it out of the way. It's not related to our verse today. Basically, the end goal of all these four is different. What is the end goal of Shunyavadi and what is the philosophy? Shunyavadi basically means whole everything is void. The end goal is void. There is nothing. There is nothing. It's just void. Once you die, there is some void and you merge into, or you are just void. There is nothing, no existence. That is Shunyavadi. Buddhism is what Buddhism is a religion that teaches Shunyavadi, that everything is Shunya, finished. Everything is once you are finished, everything is finished. Then we have the Brahmavadis. Now, what is their philosophy? Their ultimate goal is that they want to merge into impersonal Brahman. They say that the topmost spiritual thing is a light, a Brahman effulgence. There is a light, and our goal as Brahmavadis is to merge in this light. And for this process, they perform various tapasyas. They have a lot of practices. They practice celibacy. They have some strict regimens and discipline that they follow. It's not an easy one, but they do it, and they believe in ultimate something. They don't believe in someone. They believe in ultimate something, and their goal is to merge there in the Brahmajyoti. They believe that the supreme is cannot be a person. If we are also like we have hands, legs, and we have a form, and supreme has a person, supreme also has a hands, forms. What is so special about supreme, right? Like he's just like us. So they believe the supreme has no form. There's no hands, legs, there's no eyes. They believe it's nirakar, basically everything has no shape. That's their thinking. Then the third type of philosophers are Mayavadis. Mayavadis, Prabhupada used to criticize Mayavadis a lot. Even impersonalists, Prabhupada used to blaspheme a lot, but Mayavadis are even more. Prabhupada used to always say, Mayavadis rascals. That's used to say. Basically, the philosophy of Mayavadi is everything is same. All is one. You are one, I am one, Supreme is one. All different Devi Devtas are one, right? And then they have this thing, Daridra Narayan. Everybody, he is poor Narayan, he is rich Narayan, everybody is Narayan. Then there another philosophy is when God comes to this material world, he also is implicated by karmas like us. He is forced to come down. Like I don't want to mention any specific thing, but there is a specific sect that they believe that Lord Krishna will is rotting in hell. It's a very offensive thing to say, but this is their philosophy that Lord Krishna is rotting in hell because of the battlefield of Kurukshetra that he insinuated. So this is all Mayavad, not knowing the true fact and blaspheming the Supreme and bringing the Lord basically to the same platform as us is Mayavadi philosophy, right? So the verses that we are going to read today is defeating impersonalism and Mayavad, right? The first two verses is mainly focusing on impersonalism, and the next verse is basically talking about the Mayavad philosophy, and the very last verse is bringing out the supremacy of Lord Shri Krishna. So in today's verse, in this verse that we are reading, 12th verse, it is talking about uh, what impersonalists do. So basically, what impersonalists do is they perform lots of tapasya. There is brahmacharya, there is sannyas. They are very strict in their discipline. They are for reading scriptures and everything. They are doing it. But then they also have this philosophy that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, which means only Brahman is truth, Jagat is a Mithya. That means they are saying that all this that we are living in, all this is untrue. Mithya means something that is false. But then let's try and understand and defeat their philosophy. It's simple. If everything is false, if this whole thing is mithya, then if I punch you in face, is that not all right? It's a mithya. You are just thinking that I'm punching you in face, right? If everything is mithya, why don't you whatever trust accounts that you have, why don't you give it to me? Prabhupada used to say that if everything is mithya, then give it to me. In fact, there is one university, MIT, I forgot which place it is. There was one professor, he was saying everything is one. He was saying that everything is just same, there is no difference. He was talking highly about his impersonalism. And Prabhupada grabbed hold of his collar and literally pulled him. Everything is one? Then this is cotton and cotton ball. Everything is one? You are saying that? Everything is one? How can you say that? But then, devotees thought that Prabhupada is getting angry, but it wasn't so. Prabhupada was just making a point that How is cotton shirt that you are wearing and cotton ball from which the shirt is coming, how are they to say? I'm pretty sure it was MIT Boston. Yeah, it came back to me. Yes, it's MIT Boston that this incident happened. So basically, this is their philosophy that if you really feel that everything is one, why don't you give us all your money? Right? Why don't you just accept any form? Why there are criminal cases if everything? Then they also have this feel of thinking of neti, 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 which means reject this, reject that, reject this, reject that. So, okay, cut. Okay, this world is full of problems. Yes, it is mithya. Then reject it. Then what is this? Other things? Oh, this females are a problem. Reject. Family life is a problem. Reject. So they are all basically into reject, 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 reject. But they don't realize to achieve the highest perfection, they have to reject this rejection also. They have to give up this, they have to give up this whole idea of rejection if they are true to their philosophy, they have to even give up this neti neti conception because there is something higher, there is something further which they are not aware of. Prabhupada very nicely explains in this purport. If you can please scroll up, Mataji. Scroll down, up, I'm not sure. Like, we are trying to read. Yes, we are trying to read the purport of 12th. Yeah. So Prabhupada says very nicely in this purport, unless there is impersonalism, even the impersonalists have to take shelter of the path of bhakti yoga to achieve impersonal voidism. Right? Prabhupada says in the last few lines of the purport that here the impersonalists wish to merge into Supreme Brahman. However, merging into Supreme Brahman also requires a touch of devotional service. Right? There are so many examples of this scripturally. Also, there are so many shastric proof of this. We have Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, verses 2, 3, no, 3, 4, 5. Let's read them quickly. I'll just quickly bring it to that. Right. Krishna says, chapter 12, verse 3, 4, 5. But those who fully worship the unmanifest, that lies beyond the perception of senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engage in the welfare of all, at last achieve me. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Right? These are Lord Krishna's words. So we all know that the absolute truth can be realized in three forms. We are aware of the verse in Bhagavatam that says Brahmeti Bhagavaneti Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaneti Shabdayet, which means the absolute truth can be realized in three forms. The form of impersonal, the Brahma Jyoti, the form of Paramatma, and the form of Bhagavan. So yes, these people are trying to worship the impersonal Brahman, is they are indirectly worshipping the form of the Lord. Lord Krishna is so effulgent. Lord Krishna's body is so effulgent that the rays coming out of his body is what is the Brahman is made up of. The light is not something different from him. It's his aura. It's his effulgence that is the reason why Brahma Jyoti is produced. Sometimes some people may say, oh, but it is Lord Krishna. You always glorify Krishna. So, okay, Krishna himself is saying impersonal Brahman. What is the big deal about it? Now let us listen what other demigods are saying, other people are saying. We have a very nice verse in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.32. This is a very nice chapter where all the demigods are praying to Lord Krishna in the womb. And Lord Brahma is saying this to all other demigods. Let's hear this carefully. We are just reading the translation. Now, in this translation, Prabhupada has first given something in brackets before translation. So that means Prabhupada is giving us a background. Let's understand what that background is. Quote, someone may say that aside from devotees who always seek shelter at the Lord's lotus feet, there are those who are not devotees but who have accepted different processes for attaining salvation. What happens to them? In answer to this, Lord Brahma and the other demigods said, unquote. So this is Prabhupada is just writing in a bracket. Now let's read the actual translation of the verse. O lotus-eyed Lord, although non-devotees who accept severe austerities and penances to achieve the highest position may think themselves liberated, their intelligence is impure. They fall down from their position of imagined superiority because they have no regard for your lotus feet. So this is what again is explaining about the superiority of bhakti yoga over impersonal Brahman, right? There are so many other places, so many other verses, and so many scriptural evidence about this, but this is very clear that not Lord Krishna himself is saying, then all Devi Devtas, Lord Brahma, everybody is saying the same thing, right? And how about we try and understand with some examples, right? We have Shastra is full of so many examples, and Shastras are speaking of what to do and what not to do. So in this particular case, the translation of the verse is mentioning a few kinds of uh, uh, people, right? Let's understand some of them who were trying to achieve perfection through those methods and how they failed. So the very first example we have is those of the four Kumaras, right? The four Kumaras, not ordinary people at all, very advanced spiritualists, so strong, so powerful that by their mystic power, they actually stop the process of aging, right? That is why they are called Kumaras. They're just like 4 or 5 year old children, no clothes, nothing, and moving around because they thought this is the age where the sex desires do not agitate the mind. Let's just remain that. But they were impersonalist. They were not worshipping the form of the Lord. They had no idea about the form of the Lord. Unless we know about this, when they were trying out of their curiosity, they were trying to come to the Vaikuntha, and we all know the pastime where Jai Vijay were cursed by the four Kumaras, and just by smelling the tulsi leaves that were offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, they became personalist, right? And we have read in the starting of the fourth canto how they came and gave darshan to Prithu Maharaj, right? We have read all that in elaboration. So this is one classic example that how impersonalist, even though they are so perfect and they have almost got it, they still haven't got the whole thing. Then there is example of mystic yoga, right? We have example of Saubhari Muni. Saubhari Muni was meditating underwater, not just he thought every place there is so much happening. So he was meditating underwater, and that too for not 1 2 minutes, because how long can you hold your breath? He's a mystic yogi, right? He could stop his breathing for thousands of years. So he was there underwater meditating for thousands of years. But then he opened his eyes for a while and he saw two fish mating. Sure enough, he married some 50 queens of a king. There's elaborate description of this in ninth canto, right? So this is an example of failure of mystic yogi. And an analytical study of matter. What's the classic example of analytical study of matter? Who does this? Anybody? Any ideas? Any guess?
Mataji, Sankhya philosophers.
Kapila Muni.
Sankhya philosophers, and also in modern terms, the scientists, right?
Yes.
They're trying to do this. They're trying to invent this telescope and that telescope and trying to explore the mysteries of the universe, and they are trying to study the earth and this and that. They're analytically trying to study. But the biggest problem that with their philosophies, they just are remaining limited to that matter only. They are not going to the further question of analytical study, that is, who is the source? Who's the origin of this? They are not trying, they do not try to even go down that path because they believe it's a dogma. Science means something new, something invention, something you discover, something you find. But this is the biggest dogma, that they don't accept that something is coming from some supreme person. Let's not discuss that. This is a whole class in itself. But that's their dogma, that they are trying to study the gravitational force. They are trying to say, yes, there is gravitational force, but they don't question further and say, who invented the gravitational force? Where did it come from? What is the source of gravitational force? That's out of question. That's not in their syllabus. But they base their big calculations on pi. They base their big calculation on assumptions, right? And then somebody proves, somebody disapproves, and thousands of dollars are wasted. We are talking millions of dollars are wasted in all this, right? But they don't reach to a conclusion. Then the third category described here is somebody who performs severe austerities. The classic example of this is Hiranyakashipu. He performed so much austerity, but his end goal was never anything but to satisfy himself, right? He wanted some funny boon. We all know about this. Then there is acceptance of sannyas. So there are lots and there are, it has become sort of a fashion to accept sannyas because there are six qualities that attract people. You know, the six opulence Krishna has. They not only because Krishna is full of those opulence, that is why he's attractive. But in general, if we see the flip side, people are attracted by six things. They are attracted by beauty, strength, fame. They are attracted by somebody who's renunciant, somebody who has knowledge, and somebody who is very
Wealth.
strong, right? So these kind of things people are very famous, they are attracted to this. So somebody who's renunciate, somebody who's wearing a saffron cloth, people are very much attracted. People just want to go hear from them, right? And because of this, it is highly misused. Highly, people just are cheated left, right, and center because of this saffron dress. But there is an attraction for renunciation. We hear so many examples, it's just many examples that they are renunciate, they are having XYZ number of followers, but after some years it comes in news of how they have fallen down. They have misused women, misused people's wealth, and all their faiths are displaced. We have read so much about it, actually. But it is recommended in a Purana and also mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela that five kind of things are prohibited in Kali Yuga. Cow and horse sacrifice, 1, 2. 3 is, the third one is taking sannyas. Fourth one is offering meat to the forefathers. And fifth one is marrying younger brother's wife. Right? So taking sannyas is also prohibited in Kali Yuga. And so hence this will not help in advancement. Now, then there is study of Vedas. The very classic example of that is the Brahmanas. They were performing yajnas. They are just following the Vedas. But Brahmana Patnis, on the other hand, they realized that it's Krishna Balram who are to be pleased, and they gave all the offering of that yajna to Krishna Balram because they were hungry. Right? So the point we are trying to make here is all these practices, mystic yoga, analytical study, austerities, acceptance of sannyas, studying of Vedas, all this, if there is element of bhakti yoga in it, one is sure to achieve success. But if we just do it on their own, then it's not going to work. And that is what we are trying to say here. We are not saying that these are all bogus, right? In ISKCON also a lot of Maharaj and all take sannyas. But there the focus is not just sannyas. Sannyas for preaching of Krishna consciousness, of Krishna Katha. That is the main point there. And that is why it works. That is why it is working. Otherwise, mundane rules of sannyas, if we follow, a sannyasi is not supposed to cross ocean. What did Prabhupada do? Prabhupada crossed all these Atlantic, Indian, Pacific, all these oceans to come to Krishna, to West to preach Krishna consciousness, is it not? And normally, sannyasis don't deal with ordinary dealings. But Prabhupada married his couples, right? He performed the marriage ceremony himself, right? So the point we are trying to say is if anything that is done in relation with Krishna consciousness, that's where one gets full benefit of that. If it's just done by itself, just it becomes like mere rules and regulations, you are limited. Your advancement on spiritual path is very limited and you will not achieve the ultimate success. Let's go to verse 13. So in the verse 13, we are talking about, can anybody quickly read the translation, please?
Shobha
Hare
Mataji, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dada Pranam Mataji and Prabhuji. Translation by His Grace Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Actually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of all self-realization. Consequently, the goal of all auspicious activities, karma, jnana, yoga, and bhakti, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji.
One may question that we are speaking so much of bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga, bhakti yoga. So is this process like a military? Like, just do this or you'll go to hell, or Krishna consciousness. Is it like, Krishna is a dictator and he's expecting just, worship me. If you don't worship me, you all will be doomed and you'll all go to hell. Is it something like that? One may question like that, no? Why are we criticizing other processes? Why are we not recognizing them? Why are we saying, oh, this is a failure, that is a failure? So is Krishna consciousness um, like a dogma, if you like? Is Krishna consciousness like a sectarian thing that it's teaching only if you do this, you will get this? Is Are we closed? Are we not open to other processes? One may question and think like that, is it not? Sometimes it comes, why we always think of Krishna, 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 right? Why we are not talking of anything else, right? Even Prabhupada says in the it will come in one of the purports, the next purport actually. But why are we only talking of Krishna? Why we are not talking of anything else? Is this something like we are uh, we are very narrow-minded people? But actually not. Actually, the whole point is that we must this whole thing we are trying to understand is even this other path that we are reading about impersonalism, about mystic yoga, about all these austerities, everything is coming from Krishna, right? Everything is coming from Krishna. And that is why, because everything is coming from Krishna, the goal of these activities, be it jnana, karma, ashtanga yoga, austerity, tapasya, reading Vedas, doing mystic yoga, the goal of all this should be Krishna or the Supreme Personality of God. Because if we try to if we have a straight way, let's say from here to if I wish to come from Melbourne to Bangalore, right, I can come from one direct flight, right? Or I can go from here to some other country, wait there, from there I go to some other country, wait there, from there I go to another country, wait there, then go to Delhi, then come to Bangalore. I'm still reaching Bangalore, right? But this all is via indirect waste of time. Krishna consciousness is not teaching us to be narrow, but what it is actually trying to tell us is this Kali Yuga, we have time is very short. When you have at your disposition the complete recipe which is tried and tested, why do you want to experiment with other things? Why do we want to just go take a detour, right? Sometimes when there is road works, right? We have that road work, some place they are doing some work on the road, then you don't go straight, then you take detour, right? Via take a turn right, left, this, that, then you finally reach the main road. So here, that is what we are trying to understand. That if we actually have a direct connection, then why we need to go via, right? Making sense? Okay, Mataji, verse
Yes, ma'am.
14, please. Somebody read for the 14th verse, please read the Sanskrit also and translation also.
Hare Krishna. May I, Mataji? Mataji, screen is not visible. Okay, Mataji, I'll read.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Continue, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Shloka. Yata
I'll share
tarormu.
my screen so you all can see. Okay, this is 13th. Let's go for the 14th. Okay.
Mataji, you want us to read the shloka, Mataji?
Yes, please.
Okay, Hare Krishna. यथा तरोर्मूलनिषेचनेन तृप्यन्ति तत्स्कन्धभुजोपशाखाः प्राणोपहाराच्च यतेन्द्रियाणां तथैव सर्वाहणमच्युतेज्य. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. As pouring water on the root of the tree energizes the trunk, branches, twigs, and everything else, and as supplying food to the stomach enlivens the senses and limbs of the body, simply worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead through devotional service automatically satisfies the demigods who are parts of that Supreme Personality. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now, what is happening in this verse? In the first two verses, we discussed about impersonalism. Remember how we had spoken about all that impersonalism. Now, this verse is specifically speaking about Mayavad, right? Mayavad means all Devi Devtas are one and same. So, one may question, yeah, okay, I accept Krishna, I accept, yes, Krishna is the origin of all the process. Yes, I must follow Krishna. But why can't I worship other Devi Devtas? Why do I have to just be so exclusive about Krishna? Why can't I just go all, little bit of this, little bit of that, right? There is a philosophy, there is a saying in English that all roads lead to Rome. What does that mean? Whether you worship Shiva, whether you worship Durga, whether you worship this Devi, Sai Baba, this, that, ultimately you'll all reach the same destination. Then why it is all that we have to, just do this Krishna Bhakti exclusively, right? That is one kind of question that they ask. But there is another form of Mayavad. See, let's read in the purport, which is starting from, sometimes it is argued. This one, can somebody please read that?
Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sometimes it is argued that karma and jnana require a mixture of bhakti in order to be successfully executed. And sometimes it is argued that bhakti also requires karma and jnana for its successful termination. The fact is, however, that although karma and jnana cannot be successful without bhakti, bhakti does not require the help of karma and jnana. Actually, as described by Srila Rupa Goswami, Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. Pure devotional service should not be contaminated by the touch of karma and jnana. Modern society is involved in various types of philanthropic works, humanitarian works, and so on. But people do not know that these activities will never be successful unless Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is brought into the center. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare. So what does this mean, right? This clearly defeats all these so-called conceptions that we have in our mind, right? That it seems very attractive helping the poor. These days, a lot of videos you see on the social media circulating about kindness, circulating about all these philanthropic humanitarian works that, but unless we as ISKCON, we also do these activities, right? We have prasadam distribution. Nobody in the 10-mile radius of the temple goes hungry. Free prasad distribution. But that has the element of Krishna in it, right? If somebody does not have job, somebody needs money, they are welcome to join temple and follow rules, regulations, do what this, and they can happily maintain their family. But the problem is people want to live with their so-called addictions, so-called attachments. They don't want to completely give up. But that's the whole point. That unless there is Krishna, we are only this good, this we are giving this goodness, that's only giving them good, this only good karma. But then you have to come back also to reap the results of it. Right? So it's actually, it seems, oh, it's good karma, but you're actually life after life, you're binding yourself in cycle. You have given somebody this glass, then in next life you have to come back to receive that glass, then that person, other person has to come. Its cycle just goes on and on and on, right? That is what karma means basically. Give and take, give and take, give and take, give and take, right? So even though it sounds like, oh, it's very appealing, it's good, somebody's suffering, I'm trying to help, but are we really helping that person and really helping us? That we have to always think and always try and understand. Also, here we have two examples are given here, right? There is the example of watering the roots of the tree. Prabhupada quotes this many, many times. And initially, devotees did not know. They thought it's very good example that Prabhupada is giving. But it's actually Bhagavatam that Prabhupada was quoting, right? So they are saying that, okay, water the root of the tree, which means Krishna, who's the origin of all Devis and Devtas. He should be the one that should be worshipped. And demigods will automatically be satisfied when you are worshipping Krishna. So that's the point they are saying. But one can also question, oh, if I put little water on leaves and branches, then that will drip and go to the root anyways, right? So why can't I do that? So because of that, because somebody might question like that, the Bhagavatam is giving another example. Bhagavatam is saying you put all your food in your mouth and it then all the senses are taken care of, right? For example, we don't have to individually feed the thumb or the eyes. We don't have to give injections in the eyes so that it's filled or put some food in the ears. Imagine we had to do that. We have got legs, we have got hands, we have got stomach, we have got lungs, heart, brain, eyes. How could we even think of feeding all that, right? How can it's practically impossible, right? That is what is the example is trying to say here. We cannot possibly worship 33 crore Devi Devtas. 33 crores of Devi Devtas cannot be worshipped. And that is why, just like you're giving food and everybody is satisfied, just like you give your income tax only in one place and everything is taken care of, similarly, you just worship Krishna and there is no need for this Mayavadi philosophy. There is no need of worshipping little bit of this, worshipping little bit of that and getting, no, you are not getting benefit of all. It's actually your lack of faith that is shown through. You're not getting, or you're not, other point is you're not offending other Devi Devtas by not worshipping Krishna. Because there are so many devotees in ISKCON, right? If let's say they would have stopped, because I personally was worshipping so many demigods, now I worship only Krishna. So if something bad was to happen, oh, I got a curse from Shivji. No, actually, Shivji is very happy, and we have seen that personally in our life. That I got married in a Shiva temple, right? I got married in one of the saints' temple that I was really worshipping, who actually brought me to Krishna consciousness. So we have to understand that in a very scientific way. We have Bhagavad Gita chapter 9. There are verses which specifically speak about this. So what is the verse? 9.22 here. But those who worship me exclusively, worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. This is the greatest promise that somebody can ever make. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. This is what Krishna says in Sanskrit, that you don't need to worry that, oh, now I'm not worshipping this Devi or Devta, which means I'm going to be lack or deficient in some, I'm going to get curse or shrap. Nothing. You have to exclusively worship. Exclusive is the key word here. Then Krishna will give what we lack and preserve what we have. Then what he says, those who are devotees of other gods, who worship them with faith, actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but so in a wrong way. The specific word used in the shloka is avidhi purvakam, right? We can take these examples: feeding eyes, ears, nose. That is avidhi purvakam. That's not the right way of feeding, because indirectly the demigods, Devi Devtas, they are just it's a wrong way of worshipping Krishna. What does Krishna say? I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Then this is a classic verse. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among demigods. Yanti Deva Vrita Deva. That verse, it is this. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will live with. So Krishna has made it very, very simple and very easy for us, and he himself is defeating all these Mayavadi philosophies. And hence we should not worry. We should just strict and be faithful and with full complete confidence and endeavor and take up Krishna bhakti. There is another verse, the next verse that we are going to read is going to explain about that Krishna is the source of everything. Everything is emanating from him. Now we are reading the 15th verse, that Krishna is Bhagavatam is giving example. You know how the cycle of rain is, right? When there is rains, the water comes down from the cloud, and there are all water pots like tanks and ponds and sea, and everything is full, right? And from there the water is again evaporated, and then again in the summer season, and then it rains, right? Similarly, all living entities, they everything, like our body is made up of earth, wind, water, fire, air, ether, but the primary thing the body is made up of is earth. So we have taken birth from that earth. The elements, the gross elements that form this body is earth. And after one gives up this body, it's going to dust. Either you bury them, or either you burn them, or do whatever. So it's all going back to the dust. Similarly, everything is coming from Krishna, and everything will enter into him. We all know about this cycle, right? There is Mahavishnu, from him comes the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and from him comes the Karanodakshaya Vishnu, right? These are the three Vishnus. So when Mahavishnu is breathing out, all the universes are generated from him. Everything is coming out from him, right? And then Brahma is a secondary creator, and the whole creation and everything goes on. And then at the end of that, when Mahavishnu breathes everything in, there is pralaya and everything is finished, everything goes back into it, right? This we have studied time and again, that Krishna is the source. There is everything is coming from him, and everything is merging into him. We have some nice verses from Brahma Samhita that talk about this. That says this one: Yashe kanishvashita kala mathavalambya जीवंति लोम विलजा जगदंडनाथा विष्णुर महान सह्यस्य कला विशेषो गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तम हम भजामि. This entire material creation comes from the body of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and at the time of annihilation again enters into him. This process of creation and dissolution is made possible by breathing of Mahavishnu, who is only Kala Vishesha, which means only a plenary portion of Krishna. So this is all happening from Krishna, right? Everything is coming from Krishna, right? So one may question then that, yes, now we understand that yes, Krishna is the source of everything, that everything is coming from Krishna. All these various method of self-realization is coming from Krishna. Then why should we not worship Krishna? And that is what our learning is. We have been learning Mayavadi impersonalism and everything, right? We have learned all that. But what is the point of all this? We have to always understand that even subtly, even in sometimes, because we are so used to, some ways because of our culture, of our upbringing, sometimes because of unknowingly we are used to act in a certain way, right? So what happens with all that is that we sometimes unknowingly also act as impersonalists, as Mayavadis, and then that actually brings down our faith in the process of Krishna consciousness. We are there in this process, we are there, we are chanting, we are doing everything, but we don't find ourselves advancing as much as we are. And that is because somehow, somewhere deep in our actions, in our subconscious, that has not clicked yet. The acceptance, the full acceptance of Krishna and Krishna Bhakti. And that is why sometimes we tend to go our old ways, sometimes we tend to do half and half, not full effort, not the kind of exclusive devotion that Krishna is asking from us. And that is why we don't get the full benefit of it. That is why we just still keep on being in this cycle. Our chanting does not improve because the chanting does say, considering names of demigods like Shiva and Brahma to be equal to or independent of name of Lord Vishnu, right? At the same time, we also have to understand we are not saying disrespect Devi Devtas because they are not ordinary beings too, right? We are not saying, like take up Shivji's picture and throw it in the bin. That's not the point here. The point is, yes, worship them in the right way. See Lord Shiva as Yaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, right? We still go to Shiva temple, we still bow our head, but not that exclusive devotion, hey Shiv Bhagwan, and this, and not that kind of thing. That's what the point here is. We are not saying that we start thinking, oh, others are useless, all Devi Devtas are useless. That's not the point here. The point is doing things in the right knowledge and understanding the role of every personality and worshipping them accordingly. That's the whole point that we are trying to make here. And by doing that, you're worshipping them, makes them happy, and they will bring you closer to Krishna, and it will also bring you closer to Krishna. Right? That's the whole goal. That's what everybody wants ultimately at the end of the day. And that's what will happen. If we do the things in the right perspective and taking Krishna consciousness as our only soul, our only hope in this whole process of this samsara chakra and getting out of it. So any questions, any comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Barnali Mataji, you can go ahead, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, just a small query. I missed
Sure.
the 5 things prohibited. Dandavat pranam Mataji. 5 things prohibited in Kali Yuga, like taking sannyas, marrying brother's wife.
Having child from brother's wife.
Okay.
And then, they do this Ashwamedh Yagya, then
Yes.
sacrificing cow, like same, sacrificing horse, sacrificing cow, and offering meat to the Pitrus, Pitru Arpan, you offer the meat. This is
Offering
Chaitanya Charitamrit, Adi Leela 17.164.
17164.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam. Very nice class.
Shobita Mataji, you can ask Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat pranams. Mataji, it was a wonderful class. Many times we are uh, hearing and understanding also, but again, then when something comes up like Shivratri or Ganesh Chaturthi, then there is pressure from the family, and we know we have to respect all the demigods and pray to them to just give us some advancement or in the bhakti. But then, Mataji, is it really important that we should fast on these days? That depends on our bhav, or we should go ahead with the family traditions that time.
It depends. It depends if all your family is into Krishna Bhakti, if everybody is already initiated, if everybody is sort of following that, then it's highly recommended that we do only those fasting recommended by Prabhupada and the previous acharyas. But if you are in the early stages, or if you are the only one in the family, and sometimes it so happens that there is some sort of adjustment that we have to make about others' beliefs and others' things. So in that case, it is recommended you do according to your situation and take it from there. But if you really ask, acharyas and all have never recommended any special fasting on Shivratri or Ganesh Chaturthi or anything like that. It's okay. You can visit temple, you can pray and ask for advancement in Krishna consciousness, but it's not recommended. But again, having said that, it depends. Sometimes the situation is, I know some families here that they worship Lord Shiva so much, and the wife or husband sometimes are in Krishna consciousness. And just to keep some balance, some peace, they have to fast on Shivratri just so that it's not create any havoc in the family. So if that's your case, that's your situation, then you have to speak to some mentors that you have, some guru. If you are initiated, you can speak to your Guru Maharaj and take a decision from basis of that what they have to say about the situation, and we can take it from there. Have I sort of answered your question, Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji, absolutely, Mataji. Mataji, one more thing, like when we are offering bhoga, we are saying like we are reciting the pranam mantras of Guru Maharaj, then Srila Prabhupada, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Shri Krishna. So, Mataji, that time it's like going on mechanically because I have to do this, I'm doing this. But there is nothing into the prayer part that I want to pray to Krishna that accept, or I want to pray to Radharani that please ask your Krishna to accept these bhog offerings. So, what should be my mood, Mataji, or what should be my prayer exactly apart from these mantras? I should pray something also, na, so that I get connected with that bhog offering.
Yes. So the very first thing that personally I do is, before even cooking, I am opening my fridge. Lord, what do you want to eat? That's the first thing, right? The meditation is not just offering. Your meditation is starting from your cooking also, right? So that's the first thing that you can do. Oh my Lord, what would you like to eat today? Right? That's how you are talking to him. And believe it or not, sometimes Krishna from within gives you motivation. And you may have planned something in your mind that I'm gonna make this today, but when you ask this, something else comes out, and it comes out beautiful. So this is first meditation, that you are asking, what would you like to eat today? And then you work accordingly. That's the first thing. And second thing, when you are cooking, it's a good idea to have everything clean, right? The pots and pans and everything. It's a good idea to keep everything clean. Krishna loves cleanliness, and that shows you are exclusively cooking for him, because even if there is some little bit something remaining, sometimes accidentally it happens. But being mindful of those small small details, that is what brings out the main thing, right? Then the third thing is, before you speak the mantras, when you just think of him as a person, right? Let's say I come to your house. When I come to your house, you'll definitely say, yes, Mataji, please come take a seat. This is the dining table. Do you want hot water? You want cold water? This is a spoon. This is a fork. Please come and sit, right? This all things you will do. So similarly, before you even start ringing the bell, saying the mantras, please come, dear Lord, this is something made. If you have not made it and you are offering it, this is something made by your devotees with love. Kindly please accept it. Like that, you can say it to him, and then offer your mantras. And then after that, just pray that, I know I'm not qualified. I have tried to offer something that would please you, and I hope you are pleased with what my little effort. I'm hoping that you will eat this, and I'm hoping a day will come when the plate comes clean, right? That's the hope that we have. So if we do small small things, little things like that, it will make it more meaningful and from the heart.
Haribol, thank you so much, Mataji, for this help. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji. Then Ram Sari Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a very short question.
Yes,
Very
please.
nice class, Mataji. On the Shivratri, is it okay offering milk on the Shivling?
Mataji, like we are always discussing, nothing is wrong in this point. The point we are trying to understand here is, as we are trying to understand that it can be done, but what is your ultimate goal? What is the reason you are offering milk to Lord Shiva on Shivratri? That's the whole point that we have to understand. And then if we are offering, why only one day? Why not every day? Right? The whole point we are trying to understand is nothing is wrong. The whole point is we have to have the knowledge of what we are doing and what it is giving us. If you offer Shivling milk on Shivji on Shivratri, oh, it's a big offense. Krishna is gonna say, now I'm gonna just punish it. No, it's not
No,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. But the whole point we are trying to understand is, yes, it can be done. If you are in a circumstance that you have to do it. But the point is, it's not absolutely necessary to do it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know, Mataji. Not that I'm doing it,
Yes.
but I just want to know. Because some people say, no, he's a Param Vaishnava, so give him also a little respect, on that day.
Yes.
At least offer,
Yes.
in that process, maybe you can do it. That's what I just want a
Mm.
clarification.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
I
Krishna.
have same question in the same line.
Mm.
No offense to anyone. It's coming from a pure heart. I just wanted to ask if we are believing that we should not see difference between Krishna and Shiva, and we should respect Shiva as a Param Bhakta or Param Vaishnava of Krishna. Then why are we not? Why don't we fast on Shivratri, or why don't we do Abhishekam on Shiva as we are doing on so many acharyas? We are also observing half day fast on their appearance and disappearance days. Then why is there this much difference for Shiva? This is my
Mataji,
question.
your first part of question is, you said there is no difference between Shiva and Krishna. Actually, there is difference.
Okay.
Actually, there is difference.
No.
And that is why we are not doing all this.
Those 10 offenses we read, in that it is said you should not consider him as different. That is
Yes.
the
No, it
point.
says, no, the point, the exact wordings are to consider Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma as equivalent to or independent of names of Lord Vishnu. Right? So that is what
Mhm.
it says. Yes, he is a Param Vaishnava. But the whole tattva is, let's say there is milk and there is yogurt. Right?
Mhm.
Now, how is yogurt made?
Yeah, out
From
of milk.
milk.
Mm.
Yes. But can that yogurt be again transformed to milk no matter how much science you apply? Can you do that?
True. I totally understand that. But my question
Yes.
is, why are we differentiating Shiva as a Param Vaishnava from Acharyas also? Because on a disappearance and appearance day, we do Abhishekam on all the Acharyas and we celebrate by observing half day fast. And then why not Shiva?
Specifically, we do not worship Shiva because of this confusion only, that everybody thinks, oh, Lord Shiva is now, we are putting him on the equal level.
Okay.
That's the main reason. Because that's
Okay.
a big confusion that can create. Oh, we are also
Mm.
fasting for Lord Shiva. We are also doing Shivratri, like the same
Ah,
Abhishek and
correct.
everything. Now he's same as Lord Krishna.
Okay, got it. Clarified. Thank you
Right?
so much, Hare Krishna.
And for acharyas, we only fast and we only remember, but there's no specific abhishek, or we do it for Prabhupada because
Yeah.
of he's the founder acharya. But
Yes.
yeah,
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji. Thank you so
Hare.
much for the wonderful class, Mataji, and also for the new way of the changing our consciousness, like how we can cook and offer to the Lord. Thank you so much, Mataji. Mataji, I just wanted to ask one line in the Prabhupada's purport, like it has been written like pure devotional service is free from karma and bhakti, gnana. Sorry, bhakti is free
Yes.
from karma and gnana. That is Anya Vilashita Shuni, Gnana Karmadhya Navritam. I just want to know, Mataji, we are sitting in the class and getting so much of knowledge. So that is Gnana. So
Hmm.
what Gnana are they? Is it that Prabhupada is mentioning, Mataji? It is free from Gnana and Karma.
So what it is mentioned when it says Jnana Karma the Anavritam, what we have to understand from that verse is that It's not that by this jnana that you are getting Krishna. Yes, it's a means that you are understanding, but even those who do not have jnana can achieve Krishna. For example, we know about the example of a Brahmana in South India. Do you know that example? He was illiterate and he was, do you know about that?
Yes, Mataji. When he
Yeah.
was
Yes,
cooking
So,
something, he was
yes,
imagining,
Mataji.
and he
He
was
was an
cooking something. When
illiterate.
he put his finger got burnt.
no, not
No,
that one. This
he
is
was
this
an
is the other
illiterate,
one.
Mataji. He was keeping
He
the
was
Bhagavad
keeping the
Gita
Reading
Bhagavad
upside
Bhagavad
down.
Gita
Gita
upside.
upside
Yeah,
And he was
and
doing
he always had tears in his eyes. So
Yes, when
Lord
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
Chaitanya
came.
asked
Yeah.
him, yeah.
Yes, Mataji.
So he did not have knowledge. He was illiterate from that example, but he understood the mood of the scriptures, right? So all this knowledge that we are gathering, it's not just sorry, I'm just the question is about jnana karma the anavritam. Yeah. So it's a means, but it is independent of that. Am I making sense?
Yes, Mataji.
Similarly, it's not that because you are performing karma yoga, you are reaching bhakti yoga. You can directly reach bhakti yoga also. If we are sincerely chanting, performing pure devotional service, we'll achieve love of Godhead. But because there is this whole we are in living in an age where there is so much contamination, we need some knowledge of what we are doing. Otherwise, this knowledge is only bringing us closer to Krishna. Let's say, for example, Bhagavad Gita we have read. First few chapters are Jnana, then middle chapter is Bhakti, and end chapter, no, first is Karma, then there is Bhakti Yoga, and the last six chapter is Jnana Yoga, right? We have understood that.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
So,
Mataji.
but have you ever wondered why Bhakti is in the middle? Because if jnana is not in touch with bhakti, and if karma is not in touch with bhakti, and if jnana is not in touch with bhakti, it's all useless by itself. So essentially, we are trying to learn, we are trying to act all these things we are doing. It will only bring us closer to Krishna, but it is independent. Even if we don't do it, we can still become Krishna conscious. That's why it is said that it's jnana karma di anavritam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. We are told to read Prabhupada's purports and books and so many times and so much of they say no Mataji like compulsory
Huh.
that you should read, you should hear about that. So we are getting Nana. So I just wanted
Yes,
to know if we are not able to serve in that way. So it's a very so in that case I asked Mataji like it has been said no so Gnana and Karma the Anavratam. So without reading also you can achieve. So it's like for me.
definitely we can achieve, but there is always a chance that we can be on the platform of mental concoction. Are we doing is right? Are we doing it? Is it on mental platform? So unless there is some little knowledge, it's encouraged that we gather knowledge. But if that knowledge is there, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I have to serve him, that is also enough.
Okay, Mataji, whatever. Just to remove that mental concoction, we need to read and okay, Mataji.
Yes,
Not
because we
that
have a
they
lot of
only to read and acquire the gnana, you are eligible for bhakti. It is not like that.
yes, yeah.
Is it
So Gyan is basically Gyan. When it says Jnana Karma the Anavritam means it means you become Pandit. I know all the Vedas, I know all the verses of Bhagavatam, I know all the verses of Bhagavad Gita. That's not the goal. The goal is get the extract, the essence of all. If you have the extract and the essence of all, that is Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are solely have accepted that. If you have understood that yes, this is my goal of life, this is what I have to act, and if you're doing that, then there is no need of gyan. But then we also have preaching, then we also have instances where our faith shakes, right? Let's say I have full faith, I'm thinking and I stop reading and everything, but there is some turbulence that comes in my life, and the immediate first question comes is मैंने तो भगवान की इतनी पूजा की थी, why is this happening to me? Right? So for all these reasons, we need knowledge. That is the whole point of it.
Thank you, Mataji. So wonderfully you explained. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavana. No more questions, Mataji.
Yes, Jikisha Mataji has a question. Yes, Mataji.
She asked Mataji.
Okay.
Sorry, I asked. I will lower my hand.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
if there are no
God bless you.
questions, Mataji, can we said the opening prayer, closing prayers?
Yes, yes.
वाचा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च
च
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो नमो नमः
अनंतकोटि
कोटि
वैष्णव
वैष्णव
की
की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद
की
की जय
ग्रंथराज
ग्रंथराज
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय थैंक यू माता
All
जी हरे
glories to our
कृष्णा
sweet devotees. Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you so much,
Krishna Mataji,
Mataji.
thank you
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Mataji.